From Ontario to Quebec, we welcome you to our Wear Red Canada session. Du Québec à l'Ontario, nous vous souhaitons la bienvenue à notre session Tout le monde en rouge. I'm Lauriane, and I'm a clinical trainee in adult cardiology at the University of Montreal.
Hi, I'm Adriana. I'm a patient advocate and educator from Ottawa. We would like to begin by acknowledging the Anishinaabe Nation, First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples, and acknowledge the unceded Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee territories where we live and work.
I'm Cindy, a patient advocate and SCAD survivor from just outside Peterborough, Ontario. Our regional theme is getting moving, whatever your abilities.
And I'm Kira, clinical trainee at Queen's University School of Medicine. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome. We hope that this video will provide you more information on the benefits and recommendations of physical activity for cardiovascular health, and some tips to increase your motivation. This video is done in conjunction with the Women's Healthy Heart Initiative in Montreal, Quebec. Engaging in physical activity helps to manage and decrease the symptoms related to many conditions, one being cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease has many leading risk factors, including diabetes, smoking, dyslipidemia, hypertension, obesity, and sedentary lifestyle. Being physically active helps the prevention and removal of these risk factors, as well as the reduction of new cardiac incidents. Physical activity does so by decreasing high blood pressure and reducing overall body fat. Being physically active also reduces blood glucose, which prevents the risk of developing diabetes and the progression of the disease. Physical activity also reduces pain. This is through the gain of muscle mass, which contributes to greater resistance to injury to ligaments and bones. Decreasing the amount of body fat and increasing muscle mass will also help maintain independence and increase the ability to do activities of daily living. Exercising regularly also helps with mental health, which is an important point often forgotten. Research shows that being physically active regulates specific hormones like cortisol to decrease anxiety, stress, and mood swings. It also helps people feel more energized. As we can see, we often underestimate how exercising, even minimally, has a great impact on our mental and physical health. So, how much exercise should we do? The World Health Organization recommends doing a minimum of about 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous aerobic exercise per week. Exercising at a moderate intensity means that you can carry on a conversation, whereas vigorous intensity is described as rapid breathing and a significant increase in heart rate. Resistance or muscular training is a form of exercise where you use your body weight or free weights to cause resistance on a muscle, like squats or wall push-ups. It's recommended to do a minimum of about 2 days of resistance training per week. The duration of the session can vary, but 30 minutes is an ideal start time. This type of exercise will help to prevent injury, increase muscle strength, and increase the number of calories burnt at rest. Stretching or mobility exercises are proven to help improve performance during exercise sessions. They help to decrease soreness, increase our muscle recovery, and prevent injuries. So how do we stay motivated? It's very important to set a SMART goal, and this can be done by setting a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed goal. An example of this can be to go on a walk for 20 minutes 5 times a week for 2 weeks. This way, after the 2 weeks, you can reassess your goal and see if you can progress it or change it. Another helpful tip is to add your exercise sessions into your schedule or calendar. Look at it as a task that you must get done that day, and with time, it will become a habit. Preparing your exercise clothing and shoes somewhere visible can also be a way to motivate you to exercise. It's also important to incorporate fun and enjoyable activities in your exercise routine. For example, having an exercise buddy who joins you on your walks. It could be playing your favorite music while you are doing resistance training, or watching a show, talking on the phone while on the treadmill, or following a dance video online. Most importantly, start small and do not put too much pressure on yourself from the beginning. It's important to give yourself some time to adjust to your new exercise schedule and start with small amounts of time and slowly increase it.
Thank you, Malaïka and Nour, for your presentation about the benefits of physical activity for cardiovascular health as primary prevention. Now, let's hear from Dr. Christine Pacheco, cardiologist at the Hôpital Pierre-Boucher and Centre hospitalier de l'Université de Montréal, Dr. Vee-Van, cardiologist and Amélie Brée-ar, kinesiologist at the Centre hospitalier de l'Université de Montréal, who will talk about the importance of physical activity as secondary prevention.
Bonjour. La maladie cardiovasculaire est devenue la cause numéro 1 de mortalité au Canada chez les 45 ans et plus, devançant ainsi les cancers du poumon et du sein. Relativement épargnées jusqu'à la ménopause, les femmes, après 70 ans, présentent en effet la même prévalence de coronaropathie que les hommes. On estime qu'environ 2,4 millions de Canadiens âgés de 20 ans et plus, dont 50% sont des femmes, vivent avec une maladie coronarienne. L'exercice physique est une importante pierre angulaire de la prévention de la maladie cardiaque. Au fil du temps, plusieurs études ont démontré que la réadaptation cardiaque suite à un événement cardiaque, nommé prévention secondaire, contribue à une importante diminution de la mortalité et de la morbidité. J'ai le plaisir aujourd'hui de m'entretenir avec Dr. Lee, cardiologue au Centre hospitalier de l'Université de Montréal et directrice du Centre de cardiologie préventive. Merci beaucoup d'être avec nous aujourd'hui, Dr. Lee. Pour commencer, quels sont les principaux avantages de l'exercice physique?
Alors, il y a plusieurs avantages à faire régulièrement des efforts physiques. D'abord, il permet d'améliorer à long terme les capacités physiques. Par exemple, ça permet de marcher plus vite, plus loin et avec plus de dénivelé avant d'être fatigué ou d'être essoufflé. Le corps, il finit par s'adapter. Puis en plus, la pratique régulière d'activité physique améliore la qualité de vie puis la capacité fonctionnelle. Lorsque la capacité fonctionnelle et physique s'améliore, la motivation, qui est un élément essentiel à l'adoption d'un mode de vie sain et actif, s'accroît aussi avec le temps. Par ailleurs, en favorisant la libération d'endorphines, l'activité physique est aussi un traitement naturel anti-stress par excellence. Sachant qu'un événement coronarien peut accentuer le risque de développer un trouble anxieux, bouger fait donc partie intégrante des actions à mettre en place le plus tôt possible après un tel événement.
Merci. Souvent, les gens sont hésitants et inquiets de reprendre l'exercice suite à un infarctus. Comment est-ce qu'on peut les rassurer, Dr. Lee?
Ben, c'est pas étonnant de voir que les programmes de réhabilitation cardiaque sont fortement recommandés par les experts mondiaux après un événement cardiaque. Le but de ces programmes, c'est d'unir une équipe multidisciplinaire composée de cardiologues, de kinésiologues, de nutritionnistes, puis de psychologues. Et toute cette équipe a travaillé de pair avec les patients pour les guider vers un meilleur contrôle des facteurs de risque. Il aide aussi ces patients-là vers une plus grande autonomie fonctionnelle et vers une diminution des craintes. Au CHUM, par exemple, ce programme est offert gratuitement pour tout patient avec une référence médicale. Tout patient qui aurait eu un événement coronarien récent.
Est-il vrai que les femmes participent moins souvent à un programme de réadaptation que les hommes?
Effectivement, les femmes y sont référées en moins grand nombre. Elles sont aussi moins nombreuses à s'y inscrire et à adhérer à long terme. Adopter un mode de vie actif chez la femme semble donc être un défi plus grand que chez les hommes. Les obstacles à la réadaptation sont multiples, puis elles peuvent être d'ordre rhumatologique, psychologique, familial ou culturel. La bonne nouvelle est que bouger ne se définit pas seulement par la pratique d'un sport. Bouger signifie simplement mettre son corps en mouvement. Peu de gens savent en fait que marcher de 6 000 à 10 000 pas par jour contribue à diminuer le risque de mortalité cardiovasculaire. On peut donc cumuler des pas très facilement. On peut stationner plus loin de la porte d'entrée, on peut utiliser l'escalier au lieu de prendre l'ascenseur ou tout simplement, on peut utiliser les transports en commun pour aller travailler plutôt que de prendre son auto.
Donc, chaque pas compte réellement dans une journée. J'ai
Effectivement.
maintenant le plaisir d'accueillir Amélie Brée-ar, kinésiologue en réadaptation cardiaque, pour partager quelques conseils avec nous concernant l'intensité des activités physiques pour les patients qui ont déjà eu un problème cardiaque. Bonjour Amélie.
Oui, merci. Bonjour. Alors, en effet, lorsqu'il y a présence d'une maladie coronarienne, il est important de respecter certaines balises pour une pratique saine et sécuritaire de l'activité. Tout d'abord, il faut débuter lentement avec une intensité légère et ça permet de se préparer physiquement et mentalement à ce qui va suivre. Donc, lors des premières minutes, on doit être apte à parler sans réelle difficulté. Et le retour au calme est tout aussi important et doit être similaire à l'échauffement. Le cœur de la séance, quant à lui, est différent puisque l'intensité doit être vigoureuse. La respiration et le rythme cardiaque s'accélèrent. Vous devez être apte à dire quelques mots, mais sans plus. L'intensité de l'effort ne doit pas nuire à notre bien-être, donc nul besoin d'être en sueur ou à bout de souffle pour améliorer sa santé cardiovasculaire. L'expression confortablement essoufflé est le terme idéal. Marcher, ça demeure le type d'exercice par excellence, de par sa simplicité. C'est une activité très bénéfique pour améliorer sa santé cardiovasculaire. Évidemment qu'avec plus d'expérience, il est possible d'élargir nos possibilités vers une multitude d'activités, comme pour tous les goûts, comme par exemple le vélo, la danse, le randonnée pédestre, le jogging, le patin. Et puisque le plaisir, c'est la clé pour une mobilisation permanente, il suffit d'explorer pour trouver vraiment ce qui nous convient.
Merci beaucoup et n'hésitez pas à consulter notre site web pour plus de renseignements.
Thank you for Dr. Pacheco, Dr. Lee, and Amélie for that wonderful presentation. Now, let's hear from Robin Pohl, cardiac rehab exercise therapist with the Halton Healthcare at the Milton District Hospital. Robin is also a certified chair exercise instructor and will now do a short demo. So get your chairs and your water bottles ready.
So remember, you always want to start with a warm-up. Here we go. Heels, toes, heels, toes. Steps forward, steps back. Let's go to the side. Fantastic. Looking good. All right. Let's go. All right. So we're increasing the intensity. Reaching forward. Looking good. Let's have a kick. Woohoo! Looking good. Little stomps. Roll the shoulders back. Roll them forward. Nice. Step it back and push. All right. Good. Little stomps. And let's go to the side. At the arms. Perfect. Make it bigger. Good workout. You can add resistance to your routine. You want to do that every other day. You got to give your muscles a chance to rebuild. You can use light weights. Let's do the biceps with the weights. Lifting up, lifting down. Up and down. Remember to breathe. I want to do about 10 repetitions. Looking good up there. See an example of resistance using a band. Behind the back, under the arms, I'm going to press forward and pull back. Press forward and pull back. Looking great. You could also use water bottles. I'm going to work the back of the arm with this water bottle. I'll just show you. Start at the hip, push back, reach. Nice, I'm working the triceps this time. Just with a plain old water bottle. Perfect. Now you can also use your body weight for resistance. You could try sit to stand. Sitting down, standing up. Simple, right? Maybe not so much for you. Push off in the chair if you need a little extra help. There you go. All right, once you've done your resistance, you got to do a little bit of a cool down. So you can do slow exercises similar to the warm-up. Just loosening up, some shoulder rolls back, shoulder rolls forward. And then add your stretching. Here's a leg stretch for you. Heel down, toe up. Reach forward. Feel a nice stretch through the back of the leg. You should feel a tug. It should not hurt. And another example of a stretch, let's do the back. So reach forward like you're hugging your best friend. Perfect. And you can add a little meditation. Deep breath in. Let's think of ourselves, hands on the heart. May I be happy. May I be kind. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy.
Thank you, Robin. That was a great demonstration. Now we have Owen from Red Rhino, a dance space for everyone. With a focus on inclusivity, Red Rhino wants every dancer to participate and enjoy the beautiful art therapy that is dance.
I started the company Red Rhino, which is a dance organization with a simple mission, which is to spread dance to everybody as far and wide as possible. I started it during the early stages of the pandemic when myself and my little sister Rosie, who has Down syndrome, were stuck at home. And I just noticed that the physical activity that we were usually getting, which was, out and about, walking and going to the park and playing, had sort of disappeared. And the first thing that we started to really engage with each other on was little dance parties. I would put music on and we would just dance around the kitchen, and it just lit her up. It changed her entire energy throughout the day. Her engagement, her vitality was sort of coming back, and it was like an aha moment. I realized that there must be so many of these gorgeous children just stuck at home with no one to get them on their feet, right? There was enough learning going on in schools. There was enough prioritization as far as education, which is so important too. But that extra piece, that mental invigoration, that stimulation was missing. So I decided I would open up a Zoom room every Sunday for an hour with no real plan. It was just, put the music on, get the kids on their feet and dance around. And it's been going for about 2 years now, and since that first open class that was just my little sister Rosie and her friends dancing alongside me on Zoom, I've taught about 200 dance classes on Zoom to children all over the US, Europe. I've had some clients come on and dance in Sweden. That was amazing. We did not speak the same language, but we danced along together anyway. And it's been incredible. I've seen such a shift in her overall, even as things started to open up and she went back to school. Teachers told me that not only her physical activity, her health, her stimulation overall, her focus had changed and shifted. So I knew I wanted to dig deep and really put a lot of energy into this organization and just try to get as much energy back into these bodies that need physical activity, right? Heart health and all of these components that sort of took a back seat while everybody was prioritizing their health and their, trying to keep each other safe by staying at home and, respecting all the lockdown procedures, but making sure that we, get on our feet whenever possible and just go and get back at it and keep that energy alive. And that's at the core of Red Rhino. It's inclusivity, it's creating space for everybody and anybody that needs it, but it's about health. It's about making sure that at the end of the day we prioritize our mental and physical well-being and keep that heart pumping as long and hard as we can. I will be opening up many, many more facets of this program. I'm hoping to start live events in Ottawa that gather dancers of all shapes and sizes into one room and just sweat it out. Because as we're learning, physical activity is at the heart of, no pun intended, the heart of happiness, both mentally and physically.
Thank you, Owen. That was beautiful. Now we're going from dance to running. Erin Poirier wears many hats: athlete, coach, mom, wife, and public health nurse. The need for better female representation in sport, and she gives some great tips for those who want to start running but might be a bit timid.
When someone's starting out, I always have like a few similar pieces of advice that I give them. And the first is like, just start small. Lots of people have this idea that I'm going to sign up for a 5K and I'm going to start to run. So they go outside and they run as fast as they can as long as that will last, and it doesn't last very long and it feels really bad. So that's not the most ideal way to start running. Like I usually suggest like start really small, and lots of people start with a combo of running and walking, and that's okay. And even in your 5K, there's no rule that says that you can't walk some of that 5K event, and that's even true. I say that to my high school athletes sometimes too. So start small. Don't run as fast as you can. You'll save that for later when you're confident in knowing exactly how far I can run and how long it's going to last, because you want it to feel good. We come back and do things that feel good. So if you start small and you feel good while you're doing it, and you get home, you can check a box. Like I did that. I felt good. And if it was fun and if it felt good, you're more likely to do it again the next day. The other thing that's really tricky, especially right now in 2022, is just so much data, so much social media, so much comparison to everyone else. And sometimes it's best just to like do your own thing and don't worry who's watching you. And you don't need to document all of that for everyone else to pass judgment on or to feel self-conscious about. So if you're learning to run, that's great. You don't have to explain that to anyone else beyond like, I'm learning to run 5K. So you don't need to tell people I'm taking this amount of walk breaks, or I'm running this far, or I can run this fast. Like just feel good about it. And if your comparison and sharing doesn't help you feel good about it, then don't do it. Don't share it. I have lots of people who will say like, I want to run, but like not like you, I can't run fast like you. So they think that like somehow that makes them like a different kind of runner. And I would say it doesn't. Like if there's a 5K and there's 500 people there, like sure, there's a male winner and a female winner, but we've all run the same distance. We are all runners out there. And even if you've walked some of that 5K, it doesn't make you any less of a runner as the person who's actually winning the race. So you sign up, call yourself a runner, start small, feel good about it, have fun.
Now to finish things off, let's hear from André-anne Sabourin about adaptive sports and the importance of moving.
Well, I have cerebral palsy, hemiplegia on the left side, so that side is definitely weaker than the right. And I also have Charcot-Marie-Tooth, which is a subset to muscular dystrophy. So that affects the nerves and the nerve endings, and it does atrophy the muscles. Definitely limits me in what I can do sport-wise. And for me, like if I think about physical activity, I really have to think about how my body's going to react. So for me, physical activity was very important because I just have to keep active with the disabilities I have. And I also want to keep, my heart health essentially because of my family history. And it all started with adaptive skiing and just being in the Paralympic side of sports. It all started when I was 13. My brother and I were watching TVO and we saw a clip of sledge hockey with Marc Dorion, who was playing sledge hockey, and that's how, and we found a club in the city, and then we joined that. And then through that, it's because it's such a small community, you kind of get connected with people around. La représentation, c'est tellement important parce que ça permet à plus de gens de participer. C'est important pour nous autres de montrer aux gens qu'on est là. Comme justement, si je parle un peu du sledge hockey, si j'aurais pas regardé un show sur TVO, qui est la version anglophone de TFO, je pense pas que j'aurais jamais rentré dans les sports paralympiques. Ça, c'est juste à donner que c'était... Puis je m'en rappelle parce que j'en discute encore, mais c'était comme un clip de comme 10 secondes. Même pas. C'était pendant les annonces. Ils sont allés parler à des personnes de l'équipe canadienne. What motivates me is just, I love the adrenaline rush a bit. That might play a role in that. But it's just knowing the nature of like my disabilities, and just, I have to find a way to always keep myself going. Because if I can just say, like during the pandemic, it has done a lot of damage. I know I'm not the only one, and I can speak of it. Like, I know from our community, it's very difficult for us to stay active in the times that we did. So I think it's just that, try and just, just go for it, really.
Thank you, Amy and André-anne, and to all of our presenters for sharing your experiences and talking about the importance of physical movement and how it relates to our heart health. I can't wait to get moving myself. Merci à Amy et à André-anne, de même qu'à tous nos présentateurs, d'avoir partagé leur expérience et surtout d'avoir souligné l'importance de l'activité physique et comment l'activité physique peut améliorer notre santé cardiovasculaire. J'ai déjà hâte de bouger.
On behalf of Ontario and Quebec, thank you for taking part in Wear Red Canada. Do you smell something cooking? Let's head east now to the Atlantic provinces, where they will serve up some tips on healthy and affordable eating.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Beaucoup.
Bye-bye.